Hi there, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Disclaimers, these are just my thoughts and opinions, and also I swear. Now recently I find that I've done a couple of videos on Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, and mainly the problem of that is the fact that they're being reported on in the mainstream media. This is not OnlyFans content, this is regular everyday news. And it is painting a picture that is going to put young girls in harm's way and give young men delusions about what women are meant to be treated like, to succinctly put it in. And then last night I realised that it's not just mainstream media, it's TikTok, right? And I found myself going down a TikTok rabbit hole. I follow this young man called Cam, to try and say it right, Carrie Ann, Cam Kirkham, right? In my head, it just goes Cam Kirkham, right? Young lad, I'm presuming Generation Z, and I really rate him as a YouTuber, purely for his intellectual capability. That young lad is wiser than most adults. So I rate the way that he looks at things and whatever. And last night I went down a rabbit hole because he did a video on this woman called Ash Trevino, and like it sort of twigged in my head. Hold on a minute, Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue are also TikTokers, right? So young people, my granddaughters included, get, because they look at TikTok as young people do, right? Old people do as well. I don't. And last night I found myself thinking, should I follow these people? And really, I don't see why I have to when there's people like Cam Kirkham, I'm so sorry, who put all these, like the YouTubers who can splice in content. I am not one of these YouTubers. I just sit and talk to my phone for 20 minutes and fuck off, as I've said before. So I watched about this Ash Trevino woman, who I think is also a poison in TikTok, to put it mildly, a cancer, if you will. And I just went further and further down and looked at this CLA, Chelsea Lee Art, and Elphaba. And I watched the Ash Trevino one first, and I found myself picking up my little fucking thing and making notes. And so I'm like, right, okay, well, I'm going to do a video on that fucker then. Because this woman is... All three of these women, well, Elphaba, I'm sorry, but I'm not calling that a woman. Right? And I'll get to the point of that, because Elphaba chucked themselves under the bus in one of these clips but we'll get to Elphaba in a bit. I'm starting with Ash Trevino. For those of you who don't know, like old exes like myself, not on TikTok. For anybody not on TikTok, this is a 35-year-old woman whose thing is shagging 19-year-old lads. Now, Cam, bless him, pointed out, and I wrote this fucker down because I had to, what you got in common with a 19-year-old, you're 35. So I'll just answer his question there. Sexual peak. Right? Known this since I was a wee one, right? Boys have their sexual peak at 19 and women have their sexual peak at 35. Those were the facts that I was taught that as fact. As a young un, gone with it my whole life. It changes. And I have a friend who is a trans boy, and I had a conversation with them 1 year, like the family came around for drinkies in the summertime. So I was talking and said, like, well, what happens when you're like in your 30s and whatever, because your womb drops and sex just gets way better for a woman the older you get. And they didn't know this. They had no idea, because they're gender reassignment people just want to get the fucking job done, like it. Anyways, right? But that's why she's going after 19-year-old lads, because they don't sleep. And when I was in my early 20s, I had a thing for 19-year-old lads because they don't go to sleep. You can literally keep them up all night. They just keep going. And now, obviously, it's like 35. 35 and 19, I don't really see that much of a problem with it. Everybody's legal if they're consenting. All of this. It looks wrong. I ain't gonna lie. The way that she's behaving around these young people, it's nah. And she hangs around with these kids. And most importantly, and as a mother, this is where I don't like the woman, ignores her fucking kids. She's there, TikTok live in her living room. She's hung around the door. One of her kids goes, "Mum, I've just thrown up." She's like, "What?" It's like, "I've just thrown up, Mum." And she's like, "All right, fine." And like turns around and starts fucking dancing to the fucking camera. And the kid's like, "I've just thrown up, Mum." And she's like, "Yeah, woo, everybody." And just like literally, and all three of these people, Astravino, Chelsea Lee Art, and the three people in this alphabet, the three people that I ended up watching shitloads of content from last night and sitting there thinking, we're fucked. As a species, we're fucked. It's like one thing I'm noticing about these TikTokers is that they all say, "I'm famous." And anybody who comes to them for anything, they say that they're after clout and that they're after followers off their back. This is kind of why I took it upon myself to be, it's like, right, well, I can talk about this. A, I don't monetize my channel. B, I haven't monetized my channel ever. I don't promote myself. Nothing. I ain't after clout, or I'd have been doing it for 17 fucking years. And I've got, hold on a minute, I have my 795 videos where I have not promoted myself. I do not go after somebody else's clout, especially somebody who I've never heard of. And the first time I'm seeing them, they're sitting there going, "I'm famous." It's like, no, like you're the one after fame, you're the one after money, and it was all of these people. Which one was it? It was Alphabet actually begging, just saying, "Give me your money." Like, please, just not for anything, giving nothing in return, just begging, saying, "Give me money." Now on TikTok, if you go live, you can make money on that. I have gone live on TikTok a couple of times, and it's weird. And usually it's when I'm absolutely well lit, all right, and I'm like, fuck it. I like going live. I did it on Facebook back in 2020 when we were in lockdown. I did a few lives on Facebook. I like going live. I like talking to people in the real world. But on TikTok, you get people who come up and go on and want to battle with you or some shit, and they're not doing anything. And it's like, excuse me, I'm trying to have a conversation here. What are you doing? Just sat there, just looking at me. I'm a bit scared. It's weird. TikTok is weird. And that's what our children are learning. Now, one thing about this Cam lad is that he was adamant that you call Alphabet a girl, right? I'm sorry, I'm gonna sort of go between these people because that's how I work. I spitball, right? But he was like, and my son's Gen Z, and he is the same. So I think TikTok is in part responsible for this boom. In if somebody says they're another gender, you have to believe them and you have to give them that respect. And it's like, I do, but if you're genuinely transgender, I will call you a woman, right? It's like Blair White, is it? I will call her, right? She has the morals of a woman. And a lot of these people who are just saying that they're women do not have any womanly qualities. In fact, Astravino and CLA don't have female qualities. They're loud, they're garish, they're fucking rude. This Chelsea Lee Art woman, she's just fucking rude at everybody. The very first clip I ever saw of her when she was in hospital, and she's like, "I'm famous, darling. Like, like, this is my job. I've got all these people here. You can fucking calm down." And she's just rude to people in public with this idea that she's Marilyn Monroe or some shit. And it's like, no, if you've not got TikTok, nobody knows who you are unless you watch YouTubers who call people like that out. But I've not seen any YouTubers praise any of these people. They're all getting called out, and yet they're all happy in their delusion of what they are. Now I'm going to go to Alphabet, right, because I need to get this out. Because, like I said, this camp, and my son, I talked to my son about it today, and he just went silent, because he's had this training. The kids have had this training, and that you will find that the predominant of a huge swathe of kids who think that they're the other gender have parental issues. They are mad at their parents, a huge portion of them. Now, if you're new to me, you won't know this, but back when I was a teenager, I used to cross-dress. I wore ties, bother boots, hats, men's suits. I used to wear boys' clothing. Now, if I was alive in today, if that was today, if I was a teenager today, they'd have sewn my fanny up. But I was just gender bending. Do you know what I mean? And that used to be a thing. It's like there used to be a thing as such a thing as transvestites. My stepdad was a transvestite. I've lived with transvestitism since I was 13 years fucking old. 40 years now, right? I have nothing against that. Transvestites have disappeared. You have to be jumping over. And I think that's wrong. It comes from them bastards up there, and we're just fucking falling for it. And twats on TikTok who just literally spout utter bollocks. None of these people have personalities, have senses of fucking humour. CLA can occasionally, provoke the odd titter. Ash Trevino, just rage bait, just pure fucking rage bait. There's nothing about the woman. I've not seen any clips of any of these people that didn't make me angry. But Elphaba, that one, needs work. That boy, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to call him a girl, and sue me if you will, right? But that person has serious mental health issues. I watched, and then after after camp, I watched, what's the name of the other channel that I looked? RKH Media, that I also, and they said that, don't quote me on this one, they said that Elphaba transitioned after they had pedo allegations against them. I'll call him a them, you know what I mean? Meet you halfway. I ain't calling him a girl. There's nothing feminine about them, about the person, about them. There's nothing feminine at all, right? Apparently, really bad personal hygiene, right? And everybody's like, she's got really bad personal hygiene. Everybody's immediately thinking fish. That's knob cheese right there. That's a girl with raging knob cheese. But it's like, oh yeah, because she's grown her hair and puts makeup on. But apparently that person was tossing themselves off while talking to fucking young kids. Had no idea that was wrong. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realise you weren't allowed to do that. Talking to fucking teenagers on fucking video chat, wanking himself off, right? But this is why I won't call that person a girl. His own words. I wrote it down. You know I did. Oh, and another thing that they do is threaten suicide. Like, I've watched that person threaten suicide on a live on TikTok for kids to watch. I've watched them on multiple occasions punching themselves in the head, pulling their hair out, screaming. That person needs mental health help. Not followers, not likes, not clout, not money. Help. We need to put something in place for these people where they are seen, because the more that they're told that they're famous and the more they're given money for acting like that, the further down they're going to spiral, and that person may well one day actually kill themselves on live, because that's what they think will give them fame, will make their name known above somebody else. And this whole one-upmanship, I've got to be more debauched than you to get myself clout. We're doing it wrong, people. We are failing our fucking children, and these people are our children. Like Astravino is the same age as my daughter. It's like, literally, we have failed. I'm assuming, I don't know how CLA, I'm assuming that CLA looks older than she actually is. But I would say that CLA is the oldest. She looks in her 40s to me, but I don't know. And Elphaba's, I think, only in their 20s, right? But Elphaba, right? So this person lied about having autism and tics, pretended they had tics, pretended that they had tics. And it's like, oh no, I'm just putting that. Right. So, quote, makes me want to cut all my hair off and go back to normal. Now, let me just unpack that for you, just in case it's like, well, that just seems normal. If you are transitioning, if you have been a woman in a man's body your entire life, when you transition and you come out and you ask everybody to call you a woman, you are then normal. That is your homeostasis. Anyway, that's your regular, that's your default setting. You feel like you're home. And this person thinks that just by cutting her hair off makes her a boy again. That means that this person thought if she grew her hair and put makeup on, that made her a girl. But apparently, and you know, like I'm doing this like off the bat. I watched these videos last night, and so, oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, I've got this weird Indian dude who thinks that practicing the occult is just calling white women on video chat and fapping. That's about it. I've told him not, and he's still messing off. I do this shit so you don't have to. But yeah, so I wanted, before I know too much about these people, because I don't really want to know anything else, right? The way, the look on Astravino's face when her children are talking to her is absolutely fucking sick. Fuck who you want, mate. Make yourself look like a slapper. But she has no content and millions of followers. Millions of people were like, oh yeah, and makes a good fucking living, I should imagine. Went to bloody Disneyland, didn't take her kids, teenage kids. Went with a group of teenagers who weren't. Literally, them bastards up there, right? They want the degradation of the family unit. They've wanted this forever. They want the transgender agenda. They made that fucker up, right? It used to be where genuine trans people did that. Nowadays, it's encouraged. There is my niece told me, hi baby, my niece told me the other day, there is a school in Leicester where I live that actually allows kids to identify as dogs and cats. School. Don't teach them how to do the taxes. Don't teach them how to be a good person. But if they want to shit in a litter box, come here, baby. You be whatever you want to be. Except for saying we are fucking with the mental health. Oh, and one thing I do, you know, it's a bugbear of mine. You know how you have like little bugbears? One of mine is when people say of instead of have, right? I'm just a grammar Nazi, I suppose, right? That ain't that bad. This Chelsea Lear woman says, I've got mental health. And that's one of them things that just grinds my gears. It's like, funnily enough, everybody's got mental health. It's just that some people have good mental health and some people have bad mental health. But so when people say, like, I've got mental health, it's, yeah, you've got a bad grasp of the English language is what you've got, darling. Let's see if I've got anything on here. Oh, yeah, this Astravino. Right, no, I've got to have this fucking said, because I take offence, right? She calls her vagina her no-no. No-no is the nickname my grandkids have for me. She's done a video called a song called "How Does My Noo Smell?" I'm like, sometimes I don't smell too good. Quite often, I smell quite nice when I put perfume on. But like, I'm like, mate, it's ruined it. It's ruined it. It's like, this was innocence. You know, like, because when I had my daughter, my mum's like, don't call me grandma. No, you know, my nana was like that. It's like, no, don't call me grandma. That's aging me. And so, you know, like, my nana was nana. My mum was nana to my kids. I don't do anything normal, let's face it. So when my daughter had kids, the name we came up was Nuno, and it was quite good. It's an advertisement because it's the Hoover of Teletubbies, and obviously that's a bit of a. But it's Ash Trevino's Chuff. I'm named after Ash Trevino's Chuff. And she's like, oh, mate. She just assumes that everybody young fancies her as well. It's like, this is, again, how I differ from these people. It's like, if somebody, you know, like, if anybody gives me a compliment and somebody did, oh, bless them. Like, somebody put on one of me videos the other day, "You're so beautiful," and I'm like, mate, you should have gone to Specsavers. Don't get it. Do not fucking get it. But thank you. Like, I don't know how to take compliments. I'm really, really shit at that. Yes, and in this video last night, there was a video of Ash Trevino being interviewed by Perez Hilton. Now, I don't even know if I've said this on. I think I must have mentioned it. I don't trust Perez Hilton for shit, mate, because he works in Hollywood, and he, with all the Liam Payne thing, because he was one of the first people who come out and said it. He went on to podcast like and said, whenever everybody, because it's corruption, the Liam Payne case is fucking utter corruption, lies, left, right, and fucking centre, absolute fucking bullshit. And he's like, no, I don't believe in conspiracies. And it's like, mate, you work in Hollywood, so what? The pedo's got you on the payroll. But why is he talking to this fucking Ash Trevino woman? I asked on Facebook last night and nobody answered, so I'm just asking the world. And she said she's there with this young man, and she goes like, if I was him, I'd be fucking mortified. I saw his pee-pee, he saw my pee-pee. You're a grown adult. He's a grown. Why are you calling it a fucking pee-pee? Don't get that. Yeah, so she's live streamed herself wanking off, right, with this rose thing, right? Not like video, like she's off the thing, but you can hear it going, not fucking, right? Live stream. This woman does not switch her camera off. She live streams fucking everything. She's there with this fella she's with, 19-year-old lad. And he's crying, and she's pulling his fucking hat back so everybody can see him crying. He's stood up. She's just fucking got her arms round him to prevent him from fucking going everywhere, making sure the camera's fucking still on. And then she got a phone call, like she's having a makeup done. She got a phone call to find out that her prison boyfriend. Did I say that she that she goes after prisoners? Doesn't matter at this point. Found out that he got stabbed and I think murdered. And she's roaring her eyes out and white. Still didn't switch the fucking camera off. No private fucking things. She's on the phone to one of her kids on a live stream. And the kid's like, are you on a live stream? And she's like, yeah, I've got 40,000 people on it. And the kid's like, oh, thanks, ma'am. Now everybody fucking knows my business. And she's just there giggling and laughing. Couldn't give a shit about her kids. It's all about the fucking followers. It's like, and like I say, all these people are after money. That's what they do it for. Money and fame And that's where we're getting it fucking wrong. We have failed our fucking children. We have failed our children. And I am scared about what's going to happen to Gen Alpha, because they literally are going to schools right now where kids are probably shitting in litter trays, where kids can turn up to school going meow and the teachers fucking allow it. What's that going to do to their mental health? We are fucked, mate. I remember when millennials got old enough to have their voice heard and whatever. And it's like, fucking hell, mate, what have we done to these? Gen Z's, even fucking worse. When Alphas fucking come, I beg you to fucking think. The world is going down the fucking shitter. Faster and faster. Let's make sure I've... Oh, no, that's another thing that Chelsea Lee Art said that I watched her say out of her own mouth last night. On TikTok, she said that having her son, apparently she's got 2 sons, and she said that was, her words, the biggest mistake of my life, having kids. When these kids had grown up, she's saying that having them was the biggest mistake of her life. For them, like literally, bless them, poor fuckers, like having to sit and watch your mum say that you were the biggest mistake of her life. And she's famous, darling. She keeps saying roots. And like, if somebody can enlighten me on that one, please do in the comment. What's with the roots? The woman's blonde as fuck. Is she what we used to call back in my day bait? Or is she the most albino black woman I've ever seen in my life? What are we talking about, roots? Or is she a hairdresser? I don't know. So, but yeah, basically, this alphabet person, right, has a fucking amazing voice, right? Like, literally, a really, really good voice. Who's going to employ her at singing when the second that something goes wrong, it's like, fucking that, screaming at people. And this is what TikTok is these days. These people have this platform where they can be as much of a throwback as possible. It can be vile at people. Like, who's that dude? Lily something. The marshmallow one guy. I'm sorry. Hate on me, right? But that person, it's like, no, you call me sir. It's like, you look like a bloke, darling. And again, it's like these people know fucking womanly traits. And the person that I thought of today, India Willoughby, right, went into Celebrity Big Brother, got really mad when men wouldn't sleep with her, right, has had the surgery, walking round with no top on to show that she had woman's not a woman, nothing ladylike about that behaviour. Getting fucking angry at a man who wants to have sex where there's no possible macaroni noises unless you actually use fucking macaroni or some other kind of lube. It's not the same sex, having sex with a trans person, as having sex with a woman. There's no fucking natural moisture down there. It is not the same thing. I'm sorry. Now, if you, like, I ain't anti-transgender, but when people say, if I cut my hair off and go back to normal, like, just to piss you off and whatever, I sat there last night and I'm like, what the fuck has happened to planet Earth? You know, like I said, I live in Leicester. I don't feel comfortable in Leicester anymore. You know, like, I do not feel like this is my home. And I've lived here all of my life. And it doesn't feel comfortable anymore. I don't feel safe in Leicester city centre at all anymore. Because you never do know what is going to kick off in Leicester city centre. Huge problems with youths fucking fighting for a start off. And again, there's no actual education coming out for children. There's nobody that's like a good fucking role model. There's fucking nut jobs on TikTok that our kids are learning how to be adults from. And I'm sorry, but like I'm just glad that my youngest is 22. Sorry, I have to think then. My youngest is 22. So I don't have to deal with that anymore. But I'm so glad that I brought my kids up before now. Like I said, the youngest, like he has been brought up in the world where it's like you have to respect somebody's decisions, whether you agree with them or not. And I'm big with that if they're not harming other people, right? I was disturbed watching these content creators last night. I sat there and I'm like, how? Just, it's like car crash TV, dramatainment. Like literally, I cannot see how anybody follows them other than to witness a shit show. I used to, back in 2020, I used to follow Marcus and Ems, if anybody remembers them. He's passed now, bless him. But they used to do lives from their kitchen. She used to climb on the fucking cupboards and all this, that, and the other. And like occasionally massive drama in that house. And that's what people fucking tuned in for the drama. They didn't want to see them just stood there fucking having a bop or drinking. They were waiting for her to fucking fall off a cupboard and kill herself. And the comments were yak. And like that's like I might just be, it might be an okay boomer moment right here, but this is what kids are being taught. If you do this is what makes you money. Like with Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, you get your flaps out for anybody, no matter what they look like, no matter what their morals are. You open your legs for every single fucking man that wants you, and that is what will make you a success, my darling. I don't want the future of my fucking country, of the world, growing up thinking that that's okay. Like we desperately need the matriarchy at this point. We desperately need to talk about this shit because there needs to be a balancing fucking voice. There needs to be some fucking sense, or we're gonna. What you imagine when like these kids, like the alphas, grow up and they're like in positions of fucking power, and as exes are fucking, like near the end, we're the ones that need to be taken care of in our later life, and they're all just fucking there saying meow to each other. We're fucked. How are our kids meant to fucking respect us when we haven't respected them all this time? Anyways, I am fucking well waffled on this one. 33 minutes. Check me in the minutes on it. No. 33 and hold on a minute. 33 now. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it there. I've probably pissed a load of people off, and I'm really sorry, but pick new fucking idols, peeps. Just fucking be careful. Be careful who you follow. Like just we are placing our faith in the wrong fucking places, in my personal opinion, and I think our kids deserve better than this. Who's with me? Please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Please consider liking it if you've liked it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't. Oh, and I've got to do another video actually, because I have something in the wings for when I hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm doing a giveaway, so I've got to do a video on that separately. But for now, I shall let you go. Thank you for sticking with me. If you fucking have, if you've made it to the end, I owe you a bevy. If you want one, if you're a subscriber and you want one, let me know and I'll make you a badge at my own expense. Thank you for being here. Please come back and never forget that I love you all. Bye.